Now I'm doing my video.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? So yesterday was, well, actually the last couple of days were really interesting. For me, I had been dealing with the fact that it came down to me having to go to someone and ask for assistance that I've never gone to before. And I actually debated on whether or not I was actually going to do this video. But I guess I can talk about it without going into detail. Or without giving names and such. So pretty much, we are running low with how we're going to be able to pay rent. And I reached out to someone, and I really didn't want to, because I never, ever have reached out to this person for help. And this person has always been looked at in our family as like the person who's got it together, the person with the A1 credit, the person with money. And a lot of family members have taken advantage or tried to. And I just didn't want to be put in that category. In this person's eyes, I've always been like the golden child, you know, and I'm not talking about my mother. Let's get that clear.
Your mama wish her credit was A1.
What am I saying? I've always been considered like the good one in the family, you know, and a lot of my cousins will reach out and ask for things, and sometimes they were help, sometimes they weren't, but, you know, I just always prided myself on not having to go, you know, whatever problems I have are my own. So when I had to reach out to them, it made me feel badly, and I was dealing with that, and it didn't help that I reached out, and I didn't get a response. Now, I didn't ask yet, but I did let them know that I need to talk to them. So I was waiting for that call back, and it was already something I didn't want to do, and I was kind of waiting for it, and it was just kind of like just awkward for me. So anyway, I finally did get a chance to talk to them yesterday, and after I explained the situation or whatever, basically I was just letting them know that if they were able to help, I could use the assistance, and then I would be able to pay it back, and blah, 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 whatever. And prior to that, you know, we had like really good conversation and stuff like that about stuff. And so they politely just said that they couldn't, no, which is fine, completely fine. But suddenly I felt I already didn't want to go to them, and suddenly I just felt silly for even asking, and it made me feel awkward. It was weird, and I was kind of dealing with that yesterday, and like I wanted to go to the room to take the phone call, but my husband wanted me to stay in the living room with him and Kari. So I did. And I think a part of me was embarrassed to even have that conversation in front of them, because I already didn't want to have the conversation with her. So I just felt very on the spot. And it's like, here I am admitting that I can't do this on my own and I need help. And then I was let down instantly. And then I went into a whole spiel about, you know, oh, I feel bad, blah, 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 whatever. So then I went through the whole, oh, it should be fine. We should be able to look into other options. And, you know, oh, we should be able to talk to the landlords and, you know, come up with something. And, you know, all these like bullshit lies that it's not a thing. But suddenly I felt the need to kind of dumb down the situation so that they didn't feel bad about not being able to help. And, you know, make it seem like it would be a much more simple fix than it actually is. Anyway, later on when I got off the phone, I was laying in bed with my husband, and he just was open and honest with me about how he felt about it. And it made me realize that I felt the same way, and I didn't want to admit that, but I think it was hard because I sorry, I was wearing my husband's glasses. I as my husband put it, it was like they didn't even try to look into options and see what they may be able to do. I guess I was just gonna open the blinds.
Oh, I'll do that too.
But there's no need to have the light on. But yeah, so that made me just feel silly, and like I can't tell anyone how to conduct their business, or oh, you should help me. So I didn't want to feel entitled at all, but it just I started thinking about like other people and how they've been helped and stuff. And again, apples to oranges, I'm not going to say, oh, you need to do this for me or anything like that. But I think because I was let down so quickly without even like, oh, let me see what I can do, or, oh, I can't do that, but I might be able to do this or something like that. It made me feel like I was one of my cousins who just call once a month asking for something, and I've never gone to this person. So in my eyes, it's like, if I came to you, it must be a big deal, And again, no hard feelings. I'm not upset in any way or anything like that. But it's just, I found myself disappointed, not disappointed that I didn't get the help, but disappointed that it seemed as though they weren't willing to help. And I feel bad for feeling that way. So yeah, I think I was dealing with that. And, I had a really good talk today. And as my husband said, word of the day is resilient. And at first, sorry, I was eavesdropping. At first, I was like, being told that we were resilient, it kind of came off as like condescending, like, oh, you could do it. You guys got it. You always get through it. And it kind of came off like, yeah, thanks. But we always have to do it, and we always got it and stuff. And it was kind of bittersweet hearing that, from people. But after having a talk today, I realized that it's not a negative thing. It's a compliment. And, we do have it. We always do have it. What is that on my lip? Maybe it's nothing and it's a glare. Anyway, just dealing with that. Oh, sorry. I was going to put those in for you, but yours cook a lot faster, and I didn't want them to burn while we were gone. We've done enough burning today. So, so yeah, I was just dealing with that and feeling badly for reaching out, feeling badly. Like, it was just this whole thing for me for like a couple of days. I was working up the nerve to do something I didn't want to do, only to be let down instantly. And it just made me feel shitty, And then after feeling bad for going to them about it, then I felt bad that they felt bad that they couldn't help. And then that turned into me feeling the way I feel now. And then me feeling bad for feeling that way because I felt like I was being entitled. So it's just a whole thing, and regardless, again, nothing changes, like everything is still good. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, now like, I probably won't go to that person again for that kind of thing. And it's something that I avoided for years. Like, again, never, ever, ever have I ever asked for help. But regardless to what I think they could have done or what they could have been willing to do, they weren't. And that's none of my business. It's like, that is your choice to make. Like, I have had people reach out to me, like, again, I won't go into names, but I have certain family members who will tell their children, oh, reach out to your cousin in California, reach out to your, well, I'm trying not to say names, but reach out to your cousins or reach out to your aunt in California. And people assume because we're in California equals we have money. And that is not true at all. And, I'll get phone calls or, oh, I need money for this or that. And it's like, sorry, boo, I got stuff to worry about. And it's like, honestly, even if I had the money, I probably will be hesitant to help because I know the kind of people that they are. So maybe it's like that, and that makes me feel bad. Like, oh, what do you think of me? What do you think I'm just, but I can't worry about what you think my intentions are or what you think about me or my situation. I reached out. It took a lot of strength for me to reach out to this person and for me to admit that I felt like I couldn't do it on my own and I needed some assistance. And that person either wasn't able or wasn't willing. And it was like, okay, so now we crossed that off the list and we move on. And now we have what we think is, a reasonable plan. We'll probably end up selling some stuff, see what we can get. We've got our eye on our TV in the living room. Hopefully we can get some money for that because we need a roof over our head. And, I won't do that thing where I feel bad, like, oh, if I hadn't lost my job, this and that. I did the best that I could at that job. I worked my butt off. I drove myself mad working at that job. And my efforts weren't enough. And I can't think woulda, coulda, shoulda. I have to think about what is. So, we'll take care of it. And if for whatever reason we can't and we get put out or whatever, it'll just be a new Harris adventure because we'll be together and that's what's important. So, yeah, after my conversation today, I had a really good talk and it really put some things into perspective for me. And suddenly being told that we're resilient, it doesn't sound negative anymore, not that it ever sounded negative. I took it as like this reminder of it's always a struggle and, oh, you got it. And it's like, sometimes it just doesn't feel like it's that simple. But we're good. We have to be good because we're us. And,
what the fuck else would we be?
Yeah. So might be a little uncomfortable. We might not have the entertaining things around the house that we're used to. Like everybody has to make sacrifices. I'm gonna have to get rid of some stuff. We are, Kari's probably gonna be willing to sell things, his tablet, which I know he loves and adores. And like his Xbox, we might have to sell our PS4. So anyway, it's where we are. So that is that's what I've been dealing with the last couple of days. I'm gonna go now because my husband's watching stuff and it's actually distracting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And no, you're fine. I don't want you to stop what you're doing. And I don't really want to talk about this anymore because I am trying to be in a good mood and not think about negative things or sink into a negative mindset. So